My husband finally cut off his toxic mom and sis when they had the audacity to demand we give up our dream house for my jobless Sil. I, 34F, have been married to my husband Jack, 36M, for 8 years now. We've had our ups and downs like any couple, but the biggest challenge in our relationship has always been his family, particularly his mother, Karen, 60F, and his sister, Melissa, 38F. Some background: Jack comes from a family where he was always the fixer. His father passed away when he was young, leaving Karen to raise Jack and Melissa on her own. Karen leaned heavily on Jack, treating him more like a partner than a son. He started working part-time jobs at 14 to help with bills, while Melissa was coddled and spoiled. This dynamic continued into adulthood, with Jack always being expected to bail out his mom and sister whenever they had financial troubles, which was often. When Jack and I first started dating, I noticed how stressed he always was about his family's demands. He was constantly fielding calls from Karen or Melissa, asking for money or favors. I encouraged him to set boundaries, but he struggled with guilt and the fear of disappointing them. Over the years, we've had numerous conflicts with Karen and Melissa. They've borrowed money without repaying, shown up unannounced at our home expecting to stay for weeks, and even tried to pressure us into co-signing loans for them. Each time, Jack would give in, and we'd argue about it later. I love my husband, but watching him be manipulated and taken advantage of was incredibly frustrating. The turning point came about 6 months ago. Jack and I had been saving for years to buy our dream home. We both worked hard, lived frugally, and put every spare penny into our savings. Finally, after what felt like forever, we found the perfect house, a beautiful 4-bedroom home in a great neighborhood, with a big backyard for our future kids. We were thrilled when our offer was accepted. The day after we closed on the house, Karen and Melissa showed up at our apartment unannounced. They were all smiles and congratulations at first, but then Karen dropped the bomb. "Jack, sweetie, we need to talk about the new house. Melissa's landlord is selling her apartment building, and she needs a place to stay. We think it would be best if you and let Melissa have the new house. You two can stay in this apartment a little longer, right? Family comes first, after all." I was stunned into silence. Jack, bless him, actually laughed, thinking it was a joke. But Karen and Melissa were dead serious. Melissa chimed in, "Yeah, bro. You know I can't afford rent right now since I lost my job. It's not fair that you get such a big house when I might end up homeless." For context, Melissa had been fired from her 3rd job in 2 years for chronic lateness and poor performance. She'd been mooching off friends and boyfriends, in addition to the loans from Jack, for months. I found my voice and said, "Absolutely not. We've worked hard for this house. It's ours." Karen turned to me with a sneer, "This is family business. You don't get a say." I was about to unleash years of pent-up frustration when Jack did something that made me fall in love with him all over again. He stood up, looked his mother straight in the eye, and said, "No. Is my family now, and she absolutely gets a say. We're not giving up our house. Melissa needs to find her own place and her own way to pay for it. This conversation is over." Karen and Melissa exploded. They yelled, cried, accused Jack of abandoning his family, called me names I won't repeat here. But Jack stood firm. He told them to leave and not come back until they could respect our boundaries and our relationship. After they left, Jack broke down. Years of manipulation and guilt came pouring out. We talked for hours, and for the first time, he fully opened up about how trapped and resentful he'd felt all these years. It was a breakthrough moment for us. In the weeks that followed, Karen and Melissa launched an all-out assault. They called Jack constantly, leaving voicemails alternating between guilt-tripping and threats. They reached out to extended family, spinning a tale of how Jack had abandoned poor Melissa in her time of need. They even showed up at our workplaces, causing scenes that nearly got us in trouble with our bosses. Jack was struggling, but he remained firm. We changed our phone numbers, blocked them on social media, and warned our workplaces not to allow them entry. It was hard, but we could already feel the weight lifting off our shoulders. We moved into our new home as planned, and it was everything we dreamed of. For the first time in our relationship, we felt truly free to plan our future without the specter of Karen and Melissa's next crisis hanging over us. About a month after we moved in, we received a letter from Karen. It was a mix of apology and manipulation. She said she was sorry for how she acted, but that we needed to understand how desperate Melissa's situation was. She suggested a compromise where Melissa could move into one of the spare bedrooms in our new house just until she gets back on her feet. Jack read the letter, sighed, and then did something I'll never forget. He took out a lighter, set the letter on fire, and dropped it into our patio fire pit. "No more," he said. "We're done." That moment felt like the official end of the old Jack, the one who could never say no to his family, and the beginning of a new chapter for us. It's been about 5 months since then, and the change in our lives has been dramatic. Jack is more relaxed and happy than I've ever seen him. We're talking about starting a family of our own, something we'd always put off because of the stress and financial drain of his family. We've had to deal with some fallout. Some extended family members have sided with Karen and Melissa, accusing us of being selfish and cruel. But others have reached out to support us, saying they'd always seen how Karen and Melissa took advantage of Jack. Last week, we received news that Melissa had moved in with Karen. Apparently, she'd been evicted from her apartment and had no choice. Part of me felt a twinge of guilt, but then I remembered all the opportunities Melissa had squandered, all the time she'd chosen to leech off others rather than stand on her own 2 feet. Jack and I had a long talk about it. We agreed that while we hope Melissa eventually gets her life together, it's not our responsibility to make that happen. We're focusing on our life, our future, and the family we hope to build. I'm writing this partly to vent, partly to seek affirmation that we're not horrible people for standing our ground, and partly to encourage others who might be in similar situations. Setting boundaries with toxic family members is hard, but it's so worth it. So, Reddit, am I the asshole for supporting my husband in cutting off his toxic mom and sister when they demanded we give up our dream house? And does anyone have advice for dealing with the ongoing guilt and family drama? Edit 1. Wow, I didn't expect this post to blow up like it has. Thank you all for your support and advice. I've been reading through all the comments and trying to respond where I can. A few clarifications based on common questions. 1. Yes, we've considered therapy for Jack to help him process his feelings about his family. He's open to the idea, and we're looking into options. 2. We have security cameras installed at our new house, just in case Karen or Melissa decide to escalate things. 3. To those asking about legal action, we haven't had to go that route yet, but we've documented all their harassment in case we need to pursue a restraining order in the future. 4. Several people have asked about Melissa's work history. She's had jobs in retail and food service but never seems to last more than a few months. As far as we know, she's never had any serious health issues that would prevent her from working. 5. Jack and I are both only children, so unfortunately, we don't have siblings of our own to lean on for support. Thank you all again for your kindness and support. It means more than you know. Edit 2. It's been a week since my original post, and a lot has happened. I want to thank everyone again for their advice and support. It's given us a lot to think about and has helped us gain some clarity on the situation. 1. Therapy. Jack has started seeing a therapist who specializes in family trauma. It's early days, but he says it's already helping him process his feelings and reinforce his decision to maintain boundaries. 2. Family fallout. We received a group email from Jack's aunt, Karen's sister, berating us for abandoning the family and demanding we take Melissa in. Jack replied with a calm, firm email explaining our position and making it clear that this topic was not up for discussion. We then blocked the aunt's email address. 3. Home security. We've upgraded our security system and installed additional cameras, just to be safe. We've also briefed our neighbors about the situation, asking them to let us know if they see Karen or Melissa around the neighborhood. 4. Legal precautions. While we haven't had to take legal action yet, we met with a lawyer to understand our options. They advised us to continue documenting all contact attempts and to call the police if Karen or Melissa show up at our home uninvited. 5. Moving forward, we're focusing on making our house a home. We've been decorating, planning a housewarming party with friends, and even started a small vegetable garden in the backyard. It feels good to be putting down roots without the constant stress of family drama. 6. Unexpected support. Jack's childhood best friend reached out after hearing about the situation from a mutual acquaintance. He shared similar experiences with his own family and offered his support. It meant a lot to Jack to know he's not alone in this. 7. Guilt management. We're working on reframing our thoughts when the guilt creeps in. Instead of feeling bad about what we're not doing for Karen and Melissa, we're focusing on gratitude for what we've built together and excitement for our future. The journey isn't over, but we feel stronger and more united than ever. Thank you all for being a part of this process with us. Edit 3. It's been about a month since my last update, and I wanted to share some developments. 1. Therapy progress. Jack has been consistently attending therapy, and the change in him is remarkable. He's working through years of guilt and manipulation, and it's like watching a weight lift off his shoulders week by week. 2. Family tactics. Karen has switched to a new tactic. She's been reaching out to Jack's male friends and colleagues, playing the worried mother card and asking them to talk sense into him. Fortunately, most of them have seen through this and alerted us. 3. Melissa's situation. We heard through the grapevine that Melissa got a job at a local supermarket. It's a start, and part of us hopes this might be a turning point for her. We're cautiously optimistic but maintaining our distance. 4. Home life. We've settled into a peaceful routine in our new home. Last weekend, we hosted a small dinner party with close friends, something we could never do before because we always had to be on standby for family emergencies. It felt wonderfully normal. 5. Future planning. With the stress of Karen and Melissa's constant demands gone, we've been able to seriously discuss our future. We're tentatively planning to start trying for a baby next year. It's exciting to be able to make these decisions based on what we want, not on what Jack's family needs. 6. Community support. I joined a support group for people dealing with toxic family members. It's been incredibly helpful to connect with others who understand what we're going through. 7. Unexpected challenges. We've had to navigate some awkward social situations, like running into family friends who don't know about the estrangement. We're getting better at brief, polite responses that don't invite further discussion. 8. Jack's growth. The most significant change has been in Jack himself. He's more confident, more relaxed, and more excited about life than I've ever seen him. He told me yesterday that for the first time, he feels like he's living his life for himself, not for his mom and sister. There are still challenging days, but overall, we feel like we're moving in a positive direction. Thank you all for being part of this journey with us. Your support and advice have been invaluable. Edit 4, final update. It's been a year since my original post, and so much has changed. I want to thank this community one last time for all the support and guidance you've given us throughout this journey. This will be my final update, as we feel it's time to close this chapter of our lives and move forward. 1. Jack's transformation. The man I'm married to now is almost unrecognizable from the stressed, guilt-ridden person he was a year ago. Therapy has worked wonders. He's confident, assertive, and so much happier. He's even received a promotion at work, which he attributes to being able to focus fully on his career without constant family distractions. 2. Karen and Melissa. We've maintained our no-contact stance. From what we've heard through mutual acquaintances, Melissa is still living with Karen but has managed to keep her supermarket job for several months now. Karen has apparently started telling people that Jack is going through a phase and will come to his senses eventually. We're not holding our breath. 3. Extended family. Most of Jack's extended family has finally accepted our decision. A few have even apologized for their initial reaction, admitting that they've also struggled with Karen's behavior over the years. 4. Our home. We've truly made this house our own. We finished furnishing it, repainted a few rooms, and even adopted a dog from the local shelter. It feels like the safe, happy home we've always dreamed of. 5. Baby news. I'm thrilled to share that I'm currently 4 months pregnant. We're over the moon excited and a little nervous. Jack is already in full nesting mode, preparing the nursery and reading every parenting book he can get his hands on. 6. Boundaries and future plans. We've had many discussions about how we'll handle family matters with our child. We're committed to breaking the cycle of toxicity and raising our baby in a healthy, loving environment. We've agreed that Karen and Melissa will not have access to our child unless they show significant, consistent change over a long period. 7. Personal growth. This experience has changed both of us. We're more assertive, better at communicating, and clearer about our priorities. We've also become advocates in our friend group for setting healthy boundaries with family. 8. Unexpected blessings. Through all of this, we've formed deeper connections with friends who become like family to us. We're building a support network based on mutual respect and genuine care, something neither of us really had before. 9. Lingering challenges. We still have moments of doubt or guilt, especially with the baby on the way. But we're much better equipped to handle these feelings now. We remind ourselves that protecting our peace and our child's well-being is not selfish, it's necessary. 10. Moving forward, as we prepare for this new chapter in our lives, we feel a sense of peace and excitement that we've never experienced before. We're focused on building a loving, stable home for our growing family. Looking back at my original post, it's amazing to see how far we've come. The decision to stand our ground and protect our dream home led to so much more than just keeping a house. It led to us reclaiming our lives and our happiness. To anyone going through something similar, please know that it does get better. Setting boundaries is hard, but it's so worth it. You deserve peace, respect, and the chance to build the life you want. Thank you all again for being part of this journey with us. Your support, advice, and encouragement have been instrumental in getting us to where we are today. While this is my final update here, we're carrying the lessons we've learned and the strength we've gained into our new life as parents.